What's up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to the channel. So I'm back with another video. Now in this video, this woman is warning women in their 20s to not make the mistakes that she made. So listen, I want to get y'all thoughts on this one. Make sure you chime in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts on this one. Also, if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed and you like the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe, share, and like the video. And definitely let me know what you think. So I'm gonna stop talking. Let's get into the video. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Here we go.
Ladies in your 20s, you might think my story of having a baby at 47 has nothing to do with your young life, but let me tell you how every part of it does. I bought into friends with benefit. I did what's called dating beneath myself. That's what my best friend at the time told me. I came from a good family, had my college degrees, had traveled and filled up my passport book, and yet I was dating a weed head. I dated a drug dealer twice. I dated drug dealers. Why would I do that in my 20s? Wasting myself, knowing that these were not husband materials, knowing it was just fun and games. It wasn't until my 30s that I actually started to come correct and work on my personal character.
Now, I've been hearing women say that somehow when you get into those 30s, then you start to realize and focus on what's important. But why couldn't that be something that you realize from the beginning? You know what I mean? Just understanding what it is that you want in life. And I know when you're young, you're not thinking about that, but maybe that should change. Maybe young and dumb shit doesn't have to be a thing. Maybe you should start focusing on these things young. So by the time you get a little older, you're already prepared for, what it is for your future and what it is that you want. When you turn 18, what is it, 21, you're allowed to drink and do all these things. There are certain privileges you get at a certain age. At a young age, at 21, shouldn't all of these other things become a priority at 21 as well? Shouldn't your focus on what you want your future to look like, whether you want to be married, have kids, all that should be in your head then? That way you can have enough time to work on them and be prepared for it, as opposed to wasting your 20s. And then by the time you hit 30s, all of a sudden now you want this and you have not prepared for it. Let's continue.
But you don't have to wait to work on your personal character. Don't buy into society norms of it's okay to sleep around. It's okay to smoke weed and drug your body, having toxic relationships, being around people that make you want to fight, do ugly things. This is how you can waste your time and waste your fertility and wind up not having a baby until far later in life. Take care of yourself. Take care of your body. Be selective with your heart, your mind, your soul, and your private parts. You live a good life starting today.
Listen, we need to have more women out here preaching to the younger generation that you don't have to waste your 20s. It's not about all going out having fun, having reckless intimate relationships with people aren't really worth your time. That's something that needs to be preached and need to be taught to, because a lot of these young women aren't getting it from their parents. They're not getting it from their mothers. A lot of them were raised by single mothers, and those single mothers don't teach you to preserve your body and respect yourself and hold yourself to marriage, because quiet as it's kept, a lot of these single mothers want to see their daughters fall into that trap. They don't want to see them build families and have marriages and things of that nature, because it makes them look bad. And I'm not saying this is all the single mothers who think this way, but a lot of them do. So they're not trying to give even their daughters better advice to do better than they did. They want them, they're okay with them falling into the same traps that they fell into, so that they can all be on the same playing field and all feel like they're equal. Because if the daughters were to get married, have families, do it the right, it's gonna make them feel weird. So they want their daughters to perpetuate this single motherhood idea just to make themselves feel good in many cases. So I just think it's always a good thing when we have older women who are out here trying to tell the youth that you don't have to be young and dumb. You don't have to go out here and exploit your body, do the wrong things, date the wrong guys. You don't have to do that. But because society and everybody else kind of pushes this agenda and make them think that it's okay, it's easy for them to go out to do it in the name of empowerment. Oh, because we're women, we can do what we want because we're young, we're supposed to have our fun. And once again, why is it young and having fun always have to do with being promiscuous and sleeping with Tom, Dick, and Harry, Pookie, and Ray Ray, and not accepting the consequences that may arise from that. Usually single motherhood, because in most cases, a lot of these young men and women are out here reckless. They're not out here trying to be parents and be responsible parents at 20 years old. They're not trying to be fathers and get married at 20 years old, but they are creating babies and creating broken homes and not understanding the ramifications of how this is going to affect your life and the child's life. So I think it's important for the older women to definitely set a precedence by giving these young women the real information that could benefit them, and not just keep perpetuating this idea that it's okay, you can raise your child by yourself, you don't need a man for that, which is horrible advice, because if it takes two to make the child, it takes two to raise them. And a lot of these single mothers are complaining about the outcomes and how hard it is, but nobody's really listening to the women or the people who are saying, don't do this. Don't go out here thinking that you can make a baby and raise a child by yourself, because it's going to be difficult. And it's not only going to be difficult for you, but it's going to be difficult for your child as well. So choose a different path. Stop thinking that every man is horrible. Stop pushing this narrative that all men are just bad and all men are just deceitful and they're just going to dog you out, and start preparing yourself for the right type of man. Start doing things that will allow you to attract the better man that wants to be fathers, a man that wants to be a husband, a man that wants to be a family man. And stop picking men based on your feelings and how fine he is, and pick a man that is great for you, your potential children, and your future. Stop going after men for superficial reasons and then wondering why they don't treat you right, and wondering why they just sleeping with you and they don't really take you seriously. The problem is women are going out here looking for men for the wrong reasons. And then when you get the type of man that's only going to be a good time, and then you end up with a baby, that's the consequences of taking that route, as opposed to going after men for the right reasons. Everybody want to, oh, I was just out for the D, and oh, he was just fine, and I just gonna sleep with him, and that's and this and that. And then when you popped up with a baby and he don't want to have nothing to do with it, now you're crying and depressed, wondering how you gonna do it. So we already see that route is not working. We already see that's leading to a horrible path. But once again, this is a topic that a lot of women don't want to talk about, because we have the highest rate of single mothers, and they want to make this seem like it's something glorious to do. And you want men to step up, but a lot of women aren't stepping up in their mentality and their behaviors, which is leading to the highest rates of single mothers in our community. It's not just the men, but it's also the women as well. It takes two to make a baby. So if you're out here being reckless with a reckless dude, all of the pressure shouldn't be on him, but it should be on you as well, because it's your body at the end of the day. You're deciding to open your legs. He's deciding to get with you. Y'all not using protection. You make a child. You both should be responsible. But we know a lot of times the responsibility always falls on the women. So if you know the responsibility is going to fall on you because you're being reckless, why not stop being reckless? Stop going out here and being reckless with your body and then complaining about the outcome. So that's just my take on it. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified when I upload new content, y'all. Chime in. I want to hear your thoughts, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.